កម្មវិធីកិច្ចសន្ទនាកម្ពុជានិងពិភពលោក
Good evening, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cambodia Global Dialogue or Southeast Asia TV. Tonight is very special because it's part of a two-session series. I'm focused this time on more like the digital economy, the role of a young entrepreneur, the role of startup, but as well and on who gonna support this ecosystem, the infrastructure, the financing part, which I will do in the next session. But for this first session, I have the pleasure to have some three young, successful entrepreneur, rising star, just get their company going last couple of years, and I thought it'd be good to hear their perspective and to see what is it like to start a business, particularly in a very sophisticated world of the digital world, right? Not many people understand what the hell it is. I mean, if you're not in the digital world. So anyway, I have support Kun. Okay, I will let you introduce yourself later on. Siphana Long and Martin Lonsard. Okay, so why don't I give you a couple minutes each to introduce yourself to the audience, so this way they know where you're from, your background a bit. It's very important that you share a bit about your background. Okay, Support.
Hi, my name is Support. I am a CEO and co-founder of Morocco Technology. Before I start Morocco, like 2.5 years ago, I worked for one of the biggest microfinance in Cambodia, Recent Fund, and for 10 years and working in this industry, and before decided to start my own company, Morocco Technology. And during that time, we see that there will be a lot of demands and problems amongst the microfinance industry, that there are 70 of them registered with National Bank of Cambodia, and only a few of them could afford the standard software from outside, from overseas, and it cost them at least $500,000 to start the system.
Wow.
So I see that a lot of money flowing out from Cambodia. Why not we do something? Yeah. And I met with some other two co-founders, and we decided to start a company that would build a local system and something that can be used here in Cambodia. And then we decided to co-found Morocco in the middle of 2014.
Yes.
Yes,
oh,
and so the system went on sale and like 8 months after we started. So we spent like 8 months time for developing and testing the software, and we fortunate enough to get our first client, and we try our beta version, and it works.
Yeah,
it worked, and people really happy and like the software very much. So that then we rolled out, and people just keep talking about us. Until now, we got 26 clients on MFI and also bank as well.
Good. So that's a good start. Support. Congratulations, Siphana. Your companies were how would say
Junet delivery.
Junet. Junet, like
Junet, yes.
Okay, because I look at the English Junak, Okay, so tell me about your background and then a bit about Junet Delivery.
I'm Siphana Long. I am the CEO and co-founder of Junet Delivery. So Junet is a startup which it was formed in Startup Weekend 2014, end of 2014, and then we officially launched the business in March 2015. In the beginning, we saw that there's a growing e-commerce industry. People starting to buy things online, sell things online. More and more people on Facebook, and we only see the trend that it will only keep going up. So, but there's one problem, that there is no delivery there's no delivery offer the service. So, and then we see like either the shop owner they have to do it themselves or they use the motor taxi. But for us, then we see the and then we create the company.
What's your background?
I graduated from IFL and Rule.
That's what I thought.
So I graduated from IFL and Rule, and I worked for around 3 years in sales in property.
Okay, great. So very business mindset. Most IFL are good business people, you know that? somehow. And no, nothing to do, I don't want to say anything about Rule because I teach there also. But I had, every year I have the pleasure to be invited to the NUM alumni. Right?
Yes.
Those who study in the early 90s, because I taught there in the early 90s. And now they all like have kids, their business growing, you know, it's very interesting. But congratulations. Martin Lansard,
Yes.
Français.
Oui.
Okay, please.
Hi, so my name is Martin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Aniwa. Aniwa is a product comparison website focusing on 3D printers. So basically I started this website in 2013 with my best friend. We were both really passionate with 3D printing, an emerging technology, and we were looking to buy equipment to start training ourselves. But it was very difficult because we realized, well, you have thousands of 3D printers available on the market, and those are quite complex technological machines, and it was difficult to make a choice. So we decided, we should build a tool to help users of 3D printing find the right products based on their needs and their budget and so on. So that's how we started Aniwa. And now we have a huge
What
database.
is Aniwa?
Okay.
What's behind that name?
That name it's interesting. So Aniwa in Japan, ancient Japan in the 12th century, those were small statues like figurines that were built by putting layers of clay on top of each other. And that's really an additive manufacturing fabrication technique, which is very similar to 3D printers today. 3D printers today is really depositing layers of plastic on top of each other. So we like the name because the name sounded great in many languages. Today, our platform is a global platform. We are a world-class media. Most of our traffic comes from market where 3D printing is already established. So it was important to have a name that would resonate in many languages.
Is 3D printing Cambodia have some traction already?
It's starting, yes. You have a few, not a lot, but some companies that focus specifically on local 3D printing project, and it's starting to become, I think, interesting.
Give me some a simple example of a 3D application.
A very good one, I thought, happened last year actually, and it's a project called Victoria's Hand Project, and what they do is they 3D print prosthetics of arms for amputees. And this is very important because in this specific case, 3D printing has many benefits, which is first the ability to create a completely customized prosthetics that fits perfectly the patient, and also it's a very cost-effective fabrication technique. If you want to buy a classic prosthetic, it's going to be in the thousands of dollars.
Now I understand what it is. When you watch a movie Mission Impossible, that Tom Cruise put that thing, right? So that's 3D printing.
That could be something 3D printed, absolutely.
People should have told me that because I forgot what they call that, but it's awesome. But anyway, thanks for this quick introduction. I want to go to the heart of our discussion, which is the role, the relevance of a digital world, the technology in the consumer market, and how do you, as a young entrepreneur, are able to spot some business opportunity, and using this technology, this digital world. How the idea came about?
Yeah, the idea is that because I work in that industry and I see a lot of painful process among other MFI that they are doing. So most of them, they do it on Excel based. Even on Excel is in the computer, but actually we call it manual work for us, because people have to key in that stuff manually and tracking like 1,000 or even 100,000 of customer by Excel, or some of them even do it paper based. And there's a lot of human error and mistake. So we think of how can we help them to, is there any solution, computerize, So we came up with the idea. We built this software so that people can using it to track the customer loan, the customer deposit, or even the customer account, things like that. And also we try to make it more affordable to our local MFI as well, because as I told you that it costs them at least like $500,000. So it's really too expensive for them. So not many of them could afford that. So
is that mainly because these sort of applications are so sophisticated, so difficult? That's why it costs so much.
Yeah, I can say that it is really difficult. It's not just having the technical skill while doing writing the software or program, but it also requires you to know the banking process, MFI process, and accounting related stuff.
That's a good point. You must know the industry in itself.
Exactly.
Okay. But it's sort of a combination, right? Combination that you understand the industry, but you also have to understand the technology side of it, right?
Yeah, that's the combination. Yeah,
okay, good. Lakana, in your e-commerce world, I mean, a lot of people think that by clicking the shop on the card, the product arrive, online. Is not true, right? Somebody have to actually deliver, right? So I'm glad you spot that missing link, right? Yeah.
So yes, in the beginning we see it's very hard, because I have my friend. He would come and say that I have a shop, but when I need to deliver stuff for my client, I have to close my shop. Or either the customer, they have to come to his shop by themselves. So it's not the meaning of the e-commerce, right? It's not the true meaning of online shop. It means like when you buy, you have to get things to yourself, but they have to do it themselves. So then that's why we started, and it links to that the internet becomes cheaper, the mobile data and the phone is also more affordable, so more people are easy to access the internet. So they
but how do you link a transport system then, I mean, if I'm in Battambang, right, and I order something from Phnom Penh, what would be your delivery mode then, how efficient can you deliver?
For now, we for all the shop owners, they have our web application. They can see all their packages status. So like either it's out for delivery, or is it delivered, or is it failed to deliver. So everything they can see. So it's easy for the shop owners. And in order to make it, we have our own fleets to deliver stuff.
Oh, good.
Yes. So
your own fleet, I like that.
So it's not like if I am the shop owner, I want to hire. I have hire maybe 1 or 2 guys. It cannot go spread to multiple directions. But for us, we have a big team behind. So when you partner with us, you can get your product faster.
Awesome. We'll take a short break and we'll come back. That's your turn, Matthew. Okay? Well, Martin, ton tour.
Yes, I think the story why we started Anywa is quite similar to the other companies here. It's really identifying an issue or something that we thought was missing on the market and turning that into an opportunity. So in our case, it was really, okay, we want to learn about 3D printing, we want to buy a 3D printer, but really the information, it's all over the place. You have to read thousands of different websites, very technical. So we thought, okay, we need to buy something to build something better. We need to, take all this information, put it in one place, and turn it into content that is understandable. I wanted my mom to be able to come to the website, read an article, and understand about 3D printing. So that was really our initial goal, to make it simple enough so people can understand how it works, what you can do with 3D printer, and find, the one you want to buy for you.
But how do you target who should be your ultimate audience? Because number one, if not many people understand what 3D is, like me, what would entice me to search your website, for example, or to look at your website?
So for you specifically, it could be because, I don't know, you you read something about 3D printing and you want to know a little bit,
Yes.
a little bit more.
Yes.
So maybe you will go online and search for specific information. So what we try to do is not only focus on one specific type of customers, but really to have content and information for all type of usage. So it could be for an individual, it could be for professional companies. So we have guides for dentists and 3D printing, we have guides for architects. We go for different business and we try for each of them to provide all the information and really guide the users so they can better understand the technology. That's really what we try to do.
You know, so all three of you are somehow a beneficiary of, well, of course, when you start something new, you know, the challenge is for expansion, right? It's to get the money to grow. And I understand that Smart Axiata, they have a special innovation fund they call Smart Axiata Digital Innovation Fund, shortly SADIF. How do you get to know about this fund, or is it them who get to know you guys?
Okay, let's. Actually, one of my friends we met in a cafe, and I told him that, hey, you know anyone who could interested in tech startup, just like Morocco. And then he introduced me to meet Bora from Mekong Strategic Partner.
Yes.
Then we start working on it.
Okay. Oh, so you have to make some initial. Yes. Okay, but is that difficult to find source of funding to expand your business?
I don't really know much in Cambodia, but if you go to Singapore, there's a lot of venture capitals that they come and talk. You know,
Yes.
There's a lot of them, but I would prefer the local one first.
Yeah. But Lakna, in your business, you mentioned you have a fleet. I'm pretty sure it costs money to buy equipment, to buy motorcycle, to buy car, whatever. How do you start financing initially?
Initially, we have family support. So,
That helped.
Yes.
It helped to have parents who have money.
Yes, so we have family support, and then but then after 2 years,
Mom say enough, right? Go make your own money.
Yes, we think that it should be time for us to raise the fund, a proper one, because we don't just need money. Like we need more than just money, because family support they can only give you money.
Money, yeah. That helped though. Yeah. And then what else?
And then in the early of 2017, my co-founder Jay, he knows Bora. Then Bora, he knows about us, how is Junior doing in the startup community, how is we doing in business. So he approached us to be one of the investees.
So aside from having the funding from SADIF, does the SADIF have more support, more than just money?
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting, at least for us. Yes, the money is important, obviously, because it will allow us to grow the team, to invest, But most importantly, I would say, it means that we have external people with a lot of experience from innovative company in the technology field that can help us. So that means providing mentoring, providing guidance, and helping us on our expansion strategy, like you said earlier. And I think in this early stage of our development, for us it's important, almost as important as the money in itself. So it means that on the board of directors we have one more person now who's going to be sitting and working with us on a quarterly basis, to understand how the company is doing, identifying areas of improvement.
So there's a whole support structure in a way, corporate governance, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. This is a very serious investment type, Silicon Valley type, I would say. It's equity. So it means those people now have a stake in the company. It's not like a grant or an award. It's meaning they invest in us and in our project.
So they sort of like angel investor, something like this, or it's really a bit different?
I think business angels or more individuals who invest their own money. This is more institutional. And I think it's good for us because they really expect a return on this investment, right? And we need to provide this return, so it's good for us. Before for Aniwa, we were really what we call bootstrapping. It means self-funding everything.
Yes, yes.
So it's good because you learn a lot and you learn to do a lot with few resources, which is great. But at some point, if you really want to be like a global leader like us, you need to invest a bit more and to accelerate. And for that, you need a partner.
It's a vicious circle versus a virtuous circle.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you don't have money, particularly when you're small, when you don't have money to invest, you know, you end up doing a lot of things yourself. But like you mentioned the example that, well, I got the order to deliver, I have to close shop, I have to drive and deliver and come back. But in the meantime, nobody answer the next, purchase, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
but then if you don't have money to invest into a delivery, you know, it's a vicious circle, you know. So to me, it's always, how do you break that vicious circle? So perhaps it's this, this fund does give you that opportunity to break that vicious circle, you know. Injection of some capital, but also I'm glad to hear that they put also somebody in the board.
The knowledge, the
knowledge,
guidance.
I
think it's like the combination.
Yeah. So in your work, which is very, I would say, banking specific, because it's good because they make on sort of like a strategic partner. They're all ex-banker, right? So it's easy for you to work with them.
Yes. Because before they decided to choose Morocco, we've been talking a lot about how our business model works, you know, how we make money, how we gain our customer, like that.
Yes.
And actually, our business model, we really don't need much fund. We can start with small because we're not an inventory company. We just need to hire people and start with our service, things like that. Once the product is ready, after we have 2 customers, then we broke even. We make profits.
Wow.
So we choose we take that revenue as become our expansion and hiring more people. But still, this money is organic growth. You know, it's not fast enough as we expected. So we want to grow more faster than this, and so we need to seek some fund because we're not just looking at Cambodian market, but also we want to go to Myanmar. We want to go to Philippines.
That's great.
That expansion need quite a lot of fund to start with.
Is that hard to find in your line of work, to find staff because they have to be all like software engineers, something like this, right?
Exactly, it's really challenging to hiring a new talent or new staff to fill in the position. You know, it's not easy because they're not just programmer, but we need them to have some knowledge in finance, banking, or even accounting, things like that.
So they are IT programmer, right?
IT programmer, mostly IT programmer, and so once they start with us. They would spend at least 3 months' time on training, you know, before they can get their hands full in doing the real job.
Interesting. Lakna, how do you find having support from Sadif? In what way did they help you?
So the first thing we would say that they will help us with the customer acquisition, like we are more expansion to to reach more customers and also they have a good they already have expertise, they have experiences, so we're looking to have support and mentorship because for me I'm just like a few years experience, so I'm really looking for to have more support on that. And also they, of course, Smart Asiata, they have big connection MSP also, so we
what is you mean the Mekong strategic partner, right? Okay.
Yes, Mekong strategic partner, so it's a business connection to reach more customers as well.
Okay, so for in your case it's more the networking side. That this the support structure they give you, right?
Yes, and we're also looking to have a team. Currently I'm still lacking of a full-time CTO, so hopefully we will have a full
CTO, Chief Technical
Officer.
Oh, yes. Right. I was in the Club Med, right, and it's a nice big resort, right, and the general manager. He say, no, I'm not a CEO, I'm a chief of village as a COV. I said, what is that? Well, it is a village. It's a big village, so they call chief of village. So CTO, chief technical officer. Sometimes they call chief technology officer. Yeah. Oh, okay, great. Well, Martin, you know, you have this innovation fund, which is really three big. You know, you have Smart Axiata. Recently, they have also Forte that step in, and then you have a managing team, which is the Mekong strategic partner. What sort of expectation of support on top of what you just mentioned to me that you hope to get from these guys?
I think for us specifically, it's very interesting to work with Smart Axiata because so this is a smartphone mobile operator leading in Cambodia, which is great, but it's also like many telecom companies that are looking more into content, not only selling smartphones and broadband, but also what people are going to consume. And we are a tech media, so we produce content. So I think here there's probably many things that we can collaborate, and more specifically, for us, this investment, it will allow to grow into new product categories. So we've done a lot of things on 3D printing, we learned a lot of methodology, and we want to apply the same for new emerging technology like virtual reality, for example. Yeah. And virtual reality is something that is very connected to smartphones as well. Okay. So for that, I think with Smart Axiata, it gives us an edge to be working with this company, and we expect to be collaborating on that type of content in the future.
Thanks, Martin. One more break, and then when we come back, I want to focus on what are the lessons learned from this investment experience. What are the driving factors that facilitate all the Cambodia digital startup? All right, one more. Martin, to me, I think hearing from you guys, I feel young. Except I just feel young, but I'm not young. You all have a lot of opportunity to go through this process at a time when the ecosystem of this digital economy is start to bubble and everything, to grow. You feel the dynamics of that. What is the lesson learned that you all have gone through? Quite recent, but still there are some lessons learned from this investment experience. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, for me, the whole process of interacting with Mekong strategy partner, Smart Axiata, and to really all the negotiation, I would say, leading to the successful fundraising, it's really a humbling process, because I think it forces you really have to go out your comfort zone. For the past 3 years, we've been working only between us and our team. It's our little baby, this company, so we can do whatever we want. We are not really accountable towards anyone but our own team, and it's very small at the moment, right? And when you start having this type of conversation with external investors, I think really they look at your business sometimes in a very different way that we look at the business. And we have to understand, okay, what's their perspective? What are they going to look for in an investment? What type of return do they want? Can we provide? How can we, understand their needs and find a good compromise that both parties are really happy? For me, it was all new, because before, like I said, we did that completely independently. And I think at some point, as you grow, it's very important to, open up to external people, be open to the feedback they can provide, to the ideas they can put on the table. We tend to think sometimes that we have all the solution, we know everything because we know the business better, but sometimes, we also lack the distance. So I think that's what was interesting in this process, is, understanding where those investors are coming from and why do they ask those questions, why do they value the companies this way. So yeah, I would say a humbling process, a great learning experience overall.
Yeah, that's great. Lakna?
For me, it's a good lesson that you have a business, but even in school, no one teach you how you should raise funds. So it's a good lesson, like how you should pitch to the investor, how you should negotiate the valuation, the term and condition, what is the expected return that they want, how can we really do it. And not so much different from Martin. We were operating independently, so it's good to have the external external team to watch over us, to really working together and see us and help us more, and I think like their advice also get good for us, and it's a challenging goal that not only as a co-founder team, it's also for the staff, for everyone of Tunet, they have to strive to it. It's a
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Spot?
Okay, but for me, I can say that the same thing as like Martin said. It's more about taking some time. It's quite challenging for because this is our first investment, and what challenges us is that we have to prepare some other document that's required by the investor, because before they decided to choose us, they would look at a lot of document and doing some due diligence things like that. And one of the lessons learned is that we have to be well prepared for that, and we have to be sure with ourselves that what we expected from investor, and we have to understand what investor expect from us as well. So from our side, it's not just about funding, but it's also about some other expertise that they can be putting in and helping us. And fortunate enough for us dealing with them, we have Stephen Higgin, the CEO of Mekong Strategy Partner.
Yes.
He will be sitting as our board.
Oh,
So
that's great.
this could help us, building our company scale up to the next level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listening to you guys, I feel humble, right? Because, I'm also having, in a way, my own startup also, except it's not startup because I restarted my law firm in 2010 when I come back from Geneva. Me and my wife, just two of us. And my wife said, well, if you leave the UN work, decide to come home, what are we going to do? I said, honey, remember when we got married in 93? After we pay our wedding expense, we only have $600 left. And I just graduated from law school, right? So you imagine if 20 some years ago we made with $600, imagine now with 20 some years of global experience, we can do something about it. So we start, just me and her, in our home. And the joke was that we start next to the garage, right?
Real startup.
Yeah, real startup. Me and her, and books, and notepad, right? iPad's not there yet. Then we grow, then we move to the first floor above the garage, right? Now, last year, we moved above Maybank. So we took over the whole floor. It's really organic growth. But the point is, I see from what you all have gone through, I think it's different way, but you still have to have all this support structure, right? And for me, it was like my support structure was more from the outside world, because I find that I cannot compete with people who have a law firm for the last 20 years here in country. They never left. I went to the government, I went to the UN, I went to the WTO, I went everywhere except practicing law. So I say, well, what is my strategy? My wife say, how can we compete with existing firm who's always been in Cambodia, right? I say, honey, our business is out there, not in Cambodia, blue ocean. So we go outside Cambodia, and in no time we team up with Zico Law, which is an ASEAN law firm, all 10 countries, and from there we never look back.
Okay.
And we went to Club Med to meet about 300 lawyers there together. We hired a top consultant. They tell us to say, hey guys, the global trends like this in the legal world, the global trend in economic like that, and we are big shot partner where we sit like student, wow, I didn't know this, wow, I didn't know that. My God, can I have your slide, It's amazing. So I think we all are learning somehow from this experience, right? It's just a different stage, right? So anyway, I want to ask you one last question before we wrap up. Is that what do you think as a young entrepreneur? What do you think are the driving factor that will help you guys grow in the digital world, right? Digital startup, things that help you accelerate your growth, right? How would you like to be having 100 clients, 200 clients in Cambodia and then Myanmar? I'm glad you mentioned ASEAN, right? Because it's a new frontier there also. Laos, why not, right? Yeah. If ASEAN company can come to Cambodia, why not Cambodian company go to Myanmar, go to Laos, go to Vietnam? Why not? What do you think are the driving factor?
The driving factor is that we want to bring Cambodian product. It's not just in Cambodia, but we want to bring it to other countries in the region, like Myanmar, Philippines, or Laos, as you mentioned. And also we not just want to have the engineer that works in Cambodia, but we also want to share that experiences to other countries, so that our product can be used and can be utilized by some other customer, things like that.
That's very Lekna.
For me, we always think that we want to delivering convenience to the customer. So by how to give the convenience to the customer, we have to integrate technology inside as well. So from the beginning, we only use paper and pen to note everything. And then we just move a bit to Excel because we don't want to starting building so much. And then we have our own web application to work on it to help the customer. And at the same time, we are going to have our own mobile application to even ease the process.
So you think right now the digital ecosystem is okay for you?
Yes, I think it's okay, and it's only growing. Like more people, like if you launch a mobile app, there will be people using it because people now everyone almost have smartphone, maybe one, maybe two.
Maybe two, yeah.
And almost everyone also can access to the internet. So it's very easy if you can do digital. If you want to have digital business, the customer is out there, the market is out there.
Martin?
Yeah, so for us, really, the next step is to grow into more product categories beyond 3D printing and to build all this content from Cambodia here. So I think the time is great actually for startups like us in Cambodia. There is an ecosystem that is growing very fast. Our company is based in a startup incubator. There are many places like this where we can meet other entrepreneurs. And for us, the most important thing is to find talents here that we can hire to come to our team, that we can train on those technologies and create content with us, build the website with us, and stay ahead of the curve. So I'm very confident actually that now with this partnership in place with Smart Axiata and with the vision and the strategy we have, I think that here in Cambodia we can build this world-class technology website and media. So no, I think it's pretty cool to be a startup right now in Phnom Penh in Cambodia.
I have one more question, more from my own background because you guys are entrepreneur, but from my background as a former, Vice Minister of Commerce, where we in those days, long time ago, when we negotiate WTO, one requirement is that the WTO required that we eventually should have a law on e-commerce, right? So currently, my understanding is that the draft is still a draft level, but it's not blocking you guys from doing business, no? In terms of regulation, are you guys being regulated?
Right now, I mean, if I talk only for us, we are a global media, so we don't really have local economic factors like e-commerce or things like this.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about this specific regulation, but I think in terms of the global the global media landscape, it's very open for us.
Yeah. So for you claim to be in e-commerce. You are not subject to any regulation, or you suppose you have to set up a company, right?
Yes.
You have to have your tax ID, right?
Yes.
Okay, but how about in terms of money payment, for example,
For now, we have a cash on delivery service. Because the e-commerce law is still drafted, we are kind of not anything regulated yet.
Yeah. So if there is a good law, I mean that you can get the money up front, it's better, right?
Yes.
Because the thing about cash on delivery is that I'm annoyed because my son always come back. The guy bringing my hamburger now, can I have $20? And the guy, come and say he don't have a change, right? Well, tip him then, okay? But it'd be nice if he just prepaid it, and the guy just deliver, and we only tip him, right?
Yeah, it would be nice, but just people here now they still use cash more.
So you
than,
cash, right? Cash is king.
Cash is king here.
But in your work, it's not an issue because you deal with institution, right?
Yeah, we deal with institutions, so we don't deal with any payment or things like that. So we just have the platform and get and use it.
Yes, great.
And but recently I heard that the government of Cambodia we have a draft of a new policies about any IT related company must
okay.
getting the license.
Good, good.
That's from the Ministry of Telecommunication.
Yeah. Look, enjoy that freedom now, because as the country become more sophisticated, you will be subject to more regulation. In the meantime, enjoy it. Okay?
Yes.
We're running out of the time. One message is from you. What do you think the message should be for other young entrepreneurs, to follow your route? What's the message?
I would say don't be afraid. If you have a great idea, if you see an opportunity, if you see something that should be fixed, just go ahead and try to build a solution yourself, and don't be shy. Even it can be something that is not only for Cambodia but can be a global solution applied to neighboring countries, but also maybe to many more parts of the world. So I would say don't be afraid and go for it.
Lakana?
For me, I would say that just don't be afraid, go for it, and just watch out the right time, the right idea as well, because like some good idea, if it's not in the right time, it will never work. So just watch out and enjoy the ride. It might be hard, but it will be worth it if you really believe in your idea.
Spot?
Okay, for me, let's you want to start a new company or being a startup. Let's start building a product that people buy. Okay, so validate your market, making sure that there is a potential customer out there, and be focused as well. You need to focus, and not because some people they have millions of ideas coming out. That's cool, right? And they start many ideas at the same time, and that would not be good for a startup. So let's focus on one thing at a time, and making sure that you can roll that out, and people are going to buy that.
All right, guys. It's great, but maybe from your young perspective, I want to add this: it's never late to start. In your life. I restart my life, my law firm, at 50.
Oh.
So not as young. So I restarted. I restarted at 51. You see, more than half life. So yes, there is no time in your lifetime. But I think that entrepreneurial spirit, that's what keep the economy going. That's what keep job flowing. That's what keep our country thriving. And I probably would wrap up by saying that the beauty of this country, this government, is that thanks to the WTO negotiation, we open up our economy. We liberalize all the economic sector, and what you see is the space for young entrepreneur like you. Spot an idea, of course, pay tax, and then you can do it, right? And that's what, to me, the strength of Cambodia compared to other countries in ASEAN. And I can tell you, we probably the most open economy. Well, behind Singapore, okay? But in other neighboring countries, we're so open. And to me, in 5 or 6 more years, you can see in many sectors, particularly in the digital world, right? We can overtake a few of this country. So on that note, support. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, Lakana. Okay. Marta.
Thank you, Monsieur.
Grand plaisir.
Thank you very much.
Grand plaisir. Good. We're coming to the end of the first part. So I'm not gonna summarize because I'm gonna have next week another session, but this time with the funder, with Smart Asiata, with the Mekong Strategic Partner, and then with Forte. These are the people who actually help support this young entrepreneur. So on that note, good night.